welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley if this is your first time here, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. We've hit 300 subscribers on this channel and I couldn't be happier. So last month I attended my very first Bookcon and I had the best time of my life, and today we are going to be talking about the tips that I would give to either past me, future me, and to you if you plan on attending a Bookcon in the future. So if you've been around here for a while, you know that last month I attended the ApollyCon Romantasy book convention, and I have videos up on my channel of me preparing for that, me going there, and like the stuff that I brought back. But a lot went into like me getting there and having the best time. We're gonna chat about it, but I'm gonna give you a list of things that I wish I would have done to prepare a little bit more, and just to help you enjoy your experience, because these book cons are popping up and the tickets are few and far between, and it's very easy to have FOMO. So if you do get the opportunity to actually go to one of these conferences, you want to make the best of your time. Now, let me just add in a little disclaimer here. Number one, I wish I could give tips on how to get tickets. I did not even get tickets last year. Somebody else had an extra ticket and I was able to purchase it. But as far as like logging on and trying to get tickets to ApollyCon myself, failed terribly. So the first piece of advice that I would give is, after you score your tickets, I would join any like group or social media that the conference has. So most of them have an Instagram page that talks about different events that are going on, the authors that are attending, the influencers that have been chosen for the event. I would recommend following their Instagram, their Facebook group. Keep a lookout on the event's website. This just allows you to stay on top of everything that's going on for the event. Usually when you get tickets for these things, it's like a year in advance, so a lot changes from the time that you actually get your ticket to the time that you're actually at the event. So it's very important to stay plugged in my opinion, with what's going on. So if you follow me on Instagram and you saw me like updating my stories, or even the one static post that I have on my page about ApollyCon, you will have seen this notebook. And this was something that came up in the pre-order, and I knew very early on that I did not plan on bringing books to ApollyCon. I was just gonna either make something like this for the authors to sign, or I was gonna purchase something. It was done very well. It had all the authors that were signed on up till a certain point in time, their entire backlist, a place for them to sign. There's coloring pages, crossword puzzles, the word search, it's all kind of stuff in here. But this was something that we found out about on that pre-order sheet because we were a part of the Facebook group. So that's just one example of what can be offered within like a Facebook or a website or group of the Bookcon that you are going to. The other major things that we stayed informed on was the addition and subtraction of authors. So when the Bookcon is announced, of course, you have the long list of authors that are planning to attend. Between when you get your ticket and when you're actually at the event, that changes drastically. There were authors that I was extremely excited to see that had to drop out for various reasons. What I did notice was on like Instagram, for example, you would see a lot of the additions of authors like on the ApollyCon page, but you don't see when the authors decide not to come for whatever reason. Usually that is up on the author to make the announcement that they're not going to be able to make it, and how much information they want to give the reader. But within the Facebook group, because it's such a huge group and so many people are in it, people are paying attention to the authors that they want to see. So they would go in there and say, hey, this author dropped out, just so everybody knows, or so that if this is the author that you were prioritizing reading her stuff, you know that this author is no longer coming. So again, just follow all of the little social things that the con has to offer so that you can stay on board and abreast to all the changes. And that leads me to tip number 2, and that is prepare. Prepare for all things, everything that you can prepare for. I'm going to talk about these topics in the order of when I will start preparing when I get my Polycon tickets for next year. First things first, the authors. I wish last year that I would have started my reading much earlier. I knew for certain that I was going to be going to a Polycon in September. I wish I would have started like reading a Polycon authors in September. I didn't start until like mid-January, maybe the end of January. That's one of the things that I would change for next year is I will start reading my Polycon authors much earlier. Hopefully they're on my shelves because I can't afford to just be buying more books just for that. But utilize your library, utilize Kindle Unlimited. A lot of the authors that I read, I got from my library, which is why my physical TBR did not really move at the beginning of the year. Okay, so the second thing that I planned, that I took to heart, was my attire, my outfits. I made sure that I had like a mood board of what I wanted to pack, and I initially had really like, I don't want to say elaborate outfits planned, but I had like, you know, really cutesy stuff. And then by the time it got closer to me ordering clothes, I was like, dress for comfort. I knew that tennis shoes were going to be a must because we were going to be on the signing room floor, standing, walking a lot. So I picked out neutral shoes and then outfits that went with that. And I really decided on like bookish attire for the weekend because it just felt like you're going to a book event. Now's your time to let it all out, put it on your chest, plan your outfit so you don't overpack, because you don't want to be like me and have to buy an entire new suitcase just to bring home your books. Which brings me to that third little sub advice tip. You will tell yourself, I'm not going to buy a lot of books. You are lying to yourself. If you are somebody who buys a lot of books regularly at home, to go to a book conference and tell yourself you're not buying a lot of books, you are lying to yourself. I told myself, I'm not bringing any books and I'm not buying books. I ended up having to purchase a whole new suitcase and pay extra to get both suitcases even on the plane. Don't lie to yourself. Be very realistic. Even if you have to schedule in another like day just to be able to take stuff to the post office to ship home, if you can drive so you don't have to worry about the cost of bringing anything back home. I saw in the Facebook group that somebody mailed their dirty clothes home so that they could bring their books home on the plane, which I even thought about doing that. Yeah, plan for how many books that you plan to bring home, not even like what you plan to bring there, and the cost of what it will take to get those books back home. The other thing that I'm going to say is start saving. Like I know a Polycon tickets go on sale next month. If you get tickets then and you're not having to hold out for resale tickets, start saving for that trip, because it is much more expensive than I thought it was going to be. Outside of the ticket and the hotel room and the flight alone, the amount of money that you have to spend on food, on books, on bookish merch, and just anything else that you want to do while you're in the city of whatever Bookcon you're in, it's going to cost something. So I would just say start forward thinking, setting aside money out of each paycheck, pick up another side job, everything you can to prepare for the cost that will be the book conference that you're at. Okay, so the next 3 little sub tips here in the prepare category, you will probably know closer to time, and I'm just going to speak for a Polycon. Number 1 is prepare for what events and panels you plan on going to, participating in As I stated before, you're not going to be able to do it all with the Polycon. There were 2 panels going, you know, every hour, every 30 minutes. I think it was like 4 or 5 panels for the 2 days that were allotted. And so my friend and I had to choose, like, we're going to do this one at this time and this one at this time, and like slot that into your schedule. The events, you're going to have events, I'm assuming, that are going to be specific to the con where everybody's invited. You're going to have events that you're going to have to stand in line to and hope that you get in. And then events that you have to RSVP for beforehand. The other thing that we made sure we planned for was our attack on the signing room. And a Polycon releases a map, which basically shows you where the authors are sitting on the signing room floor. We knew who we wanted to see. It was also released who were the ticketed authors. And then one day, based on the type of ticket in the group that you're in, you know which signing room you're going to be in. It's very important to know, like, you know, hey, we are going to be in signing room A, and we have 15 authors in this room that we absolutely want to see. These are our must-sees. And then out of that 15, 7 of them are ticketed. So as soon as we get in the signing room, we just want to go up to those ticketed authors, get a ticket for their line, and then go hit the other authors that are not ticketed, get in line for them, and then just be listening for our ticket to be called. We were very prepared. Jenna had her little map. We knew where everybody was. Now, I will say the map did not get updated to the new floor layout because, I mean, there were authors who had to pull out, you know, as early as the day before. And then I feel like they probably like put people certain places to, like, number one, manage lines, to give authors, you know, a little more space. But for the most part, the map helped us out a lot because we knew where to go. And then just to tie back in to knowing the authors that you want to see and like you want to read prior to going to a Polycon, make sure you just scour that attendees list. Make sure that you know that you're very clear, because there are hundreds of authors that are signed up to go to these things. And it's like, you're not gonna see them all. So you really have to like manage your expectations. Okay, so my bonus tip for the prepare section is take care of your health and wellness prior to coming. One thing I joked about in my Polycon vlog that I'm taking so serious right now, when we score these tickets, I am going to start walking like a mile or 2 a day and like making sure that I get my water intake, because when I tell you the standing, the walking, the lifting, like the carrying of the books and pushing the cart and holding the bags as you're walking around, my body was not prepared, okay? I was not prepared. My body felt like I was rebelling against her. I felt like she was rebelling against me. And next year, we are going to be on one accord, okay? So we're going to train for a book conference. You heard me correctly. And I'm not saying you have to train like you're training for a marathon, but I mean, again, just walking frequently, maybe get some 5-pound dumbbells. I kid, but I don't kid. Carrying books around the signing room floor is a lot. And I did not have a book cart. Jenna had a book cart. I had my Neither the Right bag that I filled up with books that we got from Barnes & Noble. And I was able to put my bag on top of there and like help with pushing the cart, but still pushing the cart. I remember the next day Jenna woke up and she was like, my wrist and forearm from pushing the cart is sore. Like, it's not for the weak, okay? It's not. Okay, so my last little tier of this video is gonna be covering like while you're at the event. And my number one tip, most cliche advice, is to have fun. You are now at an event that tons of people try to get a ticket to, and you happen to get a ticket. So keep in the forefront of your mind, no matter what happens that weekend, you are gonna have fun. As much fun as you can safely allow yourself to have. Number 2 is to have patience. There are going to be lines. There's going to be a lot of walking. There are going to be wait times. Things are going to get sold out. It's going to happen. There's a ton of people there and you can't always be first in line. And then there's just like general misfortune that happens. Like you can't help it. I know there were plenty of vendors whose boxes didn't show up. So pre-orders were not there. I mean, merch just to run the booth didn't show up. So, people were not able to buy there. Just general stuff happens. And in situations like this, you got to kind of go with the flow. It's not the Bookcon's fault. I say that, but some things are under control. But for the most part, it's not the Bookcon's fault. Don't fuss at the volunteers because they are just here volunteering. These people are not getting paid just to make this event run as smooth as possible. There are so many things that will just happen that are out of anybody's control that you just have to go with the flow. One thing that Jenna and I made sure to do was to be on board with our schedule. And I know you're like, I know I said have fun. Yes, have fun, but follow a schedule. Like we knew each day, okay, we're waking up at this time. The first thing we're going to do is go here, and then we're going to go here, and then we're going to stop. We're going to regroup, and we're going to figure out what our next steps are for the rest of the day. Have a schedule. The next tip that I did not follow myself, but I'm telling you to do it. Meet your authors without shame or embarrassment, okay? The one person that I was overly excited to see was QB Tyler. We went to the panel that QB Tyler was on, and the opportunity presented itself for me to actually go up and talk to her and meet her. That was not on the signing floor, and I almost did not do it. Jenna talked me into it because she loves me, but it was this is why they're here. They're here to meet you. I was sitting in line behind Carissa Broadbent to get coffee, and I was terrified. I was like, I'm not going to bother this woman. So I just stood there terrified. I remember after we got checked in, we were walking back to our hotel room, and we were coming down the escalator, and JLA just walked right by, and I was like, that was JLA. And it's they are there for this. They are there wearing their name tag that shows that they're an author. Do not be afraid to talk to these authors outside of the signing room floor. So my little bonus tips for this part of the video is to explore the city if you have time. I didn't get a chance to do that in DC. I wish I would have. My friend Whitney, I will leave her channel here, her vlog. She actually went to museums and looked like it. She had the best time out in the city. I wish that I would have done that as well. That is something that I will definitely figure into next year as far as when I leave to go there and when I come back, to have time to explore the city. But also make friends and network. You are at a book conference with readers and probably people who are on Bookstagram or Book Talk. Take that time to make connections and to find new friends and followers and people that you can keep in touch with when it's time to go back home. Make friends. Have a ball. Especially when we had the after party on Saturday night, that was the best time. I danced the night away with a group of girls who I then found on Instagram, and we follow each other. And I spent the night dancing with a girl who is a book narrator. I didn't even know that. So when I pulled up her Instagram, I was like, oh my gosh, she's a narrator. You're making connections, especially if you're there as a reader, but also a writer. You now have a connection to a narrator or, to a book designer, cover designer. Step out of your box, make friends. It's okay. You're all there for the same reason. Bond and connect and have fun. All right, we have made it to the end of this video, the end of my little helpful list to keep me on track here. I hope that I covered everything. If you have any questions at all about book conferences, book events, leave them in the comments. But if you have nothing else to leave and you've made it to this point in the video, leave a ticket emoji to give me good luck to get a Polycon tickets again this year. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Share this content if you like what you are seeing from me and the things that I'm providing. Share with your friends so other people can find me. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. Join this nice little group of bookish friends here on the internet. And yeah, I will leave you with that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. And yeah, if you like this video, make sure you like it. Subscribe if you're not already a part of this big internet friend group. This is me giving you internet hugs. And share if you like the comment